Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve Peterson. This is my garage and one of my project Hyundai Velosters. I've got the other hanging out in the driveway. We had this one out today for Twin Peaks car show in Warrenville, Twin Peaks in Warrenville. So I brought it up there, took home a Best Import award today. I got the rear-ended Veloster over here. This is a Trailblazer. So yeah, I won a, let's see, right here, Twin Peaks Best Import today. That was kind of cool. And then in the raffle, I won this cool Twin Peaks beer mug. I was going to go to a cruise night tonight, but it got canceled due to weather. So I figured it would be a good time to get some work done here on this car. So I appreciate everybody for watching along so far with my videos on rebuilding this engine. This is something that I don't have a whole lot of experience doing. I've only done this once or twice on the Veloster engines on other cars. I did it on my own personal Veloster when I blew a head gasket a couple years ago, and I haven't had any issues with that car since doing that. So you know, I do take my time with this process, with cleaning, making sure not to damage any of the surfaces of the heads while I have them off. With that being said, I do appreciate everybody for watching. I'm trying to get these videos made so they help in some form or fashion, I guess. I'm still trying to figure out how to edit stuff and get content made. And also, like I said, get it out so that it makes sense, is my important thing. I want my videos to help in some form or fashion. Maybe this is something that you've never done before. Maybe it's something, you know, your own Veloster has a blown head gasket or an issue, and you're attempting to fix it on your own. Some of these projects I don't recommend doing if you don't know what you're doing on working on a car. You know, pulling the head off of an engine and rebuilding it and cleaning it and reinstalling it and putting timing back together. And I mean, like, it's a lot of work, you know. I mean, you can see I have parts everywhere, you know. I have tools everywhere, you know. Sometimes you need some specific tools like this compressor kit in order to get the keepers and stuff off of the valves so you can get a valve out. You know, without having the right tools, doing that is very difficult and can be a pain in the butt. I've tried it, I've done it. It's not fun. It can be done, but it's not fun. So having the right tools is important, you know, doing some research when attempting to pull the head off, or when attempting to remove a turbo, or, you know, replacing the engine on this car or any car. You know, just take your time and do some research. So hopefully these videos help. Diving back in here, we are up close and personal with these two heads. This is the top side where your camshafts go. This, along this side, is the intake side. Your intake manifold mounts on these four holes right here. So these are the four intake holes. These are the intake valves and springs. These are your spark plug holes. Boom, 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 boom. And then these are your exhaust valves and your exhaust camshaft and camshaft journals. On the head, this is, again, obviously a 4-cylinder. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, intake exhaust down the center here. You can see here in these holes, these are where your head bolts came out of. These right here came out of these holes. Underneath these bolts, there are washers. Those look like this. They are kind of a specific thickness, and they are slightly tapered and not tapered. So there is a specific flat side and a tapered side on these. You need to pay attention to which direction those are. As you can see, the taper side is out, or it's up, meaning the flat side is sitting flat against the head in that pocket. And then you can see that inner ring that's worn around this washer. You can see that that's where the head, the bolt of the head bolt, you know, kind of wore into that washer when it was torqued down. So I know that that's the direction it goes, but I just want to point that out, that that is tapered, and that's tapered for a reason. You know that that tapered side goes up towards the head of the bolt. Okay, don't lose these. They will fall out when you lift the head up and flip it over. They will all fall out. These are all kind of stuck in here because of all of the oil gunk that is built up in the head. You can see that this person was not changing their oil frequently enough. It was very sludgy and nasty oil in the head. Now, I will admit this head has been sitting for a while. The engine was sitting with very little oil in it for quite a while before I decided to pull this head off. But that's still, that's really bad. This head was rough. Again, this was the head with the scored up journals in a couple places. Not super bad, but again, once I got this head off and I pulled the camshafts on this one, you're not going to be able to see them right now, but the journals on this one actually looked really good. This other side of this head is not this bad. The underside of this head is what's bad. The good news is I can clean all of this pretty easily, whereas on this side, cleaning any of this is very difficult. I don't really have the best tools to be cleaning this head. So it's kind of a good thing that this one's in a little better condition. Again, I'm going to be replacing this valve with a new valve, or with a valve out of this one, and lapping it so that it seals nicely. We'll be cleaning all these out, keeping the same valve springs, but replacing valve seals. And I don't know, again, I'm going to see how all the injectors clean up on here. I may leave these injectors. I may replace these injectors. I haven't decided yet, but again, I do have those. I did clean up all of the surfaces here on the engine side, or the block side, the best I can. Nothing too dramatic was needed. A little bit of Scotch-Brite. I did use a razor blade. I know you're not supposed to. I was very, very, very light with the razor blade. It did help remove a couple stubborn spots where there was some gasket that wouldn't come off. But basically, I just used like a Scotch-Brite, you know, something along these lines, around all of the surfaces on that, and got it all cleaned up. And then some brake cleaner, basically, on the surface just to degrease it. You know, and then wiped it off with a clean microfiber. So the surface over here is basically prepped and ready to go. I wanted to get all that ready before I dove into working here on the heads. So we've got the head from this Veloster pulled off. And as I'm catching everyone up here, I found a broken exhaust valve. There it is, broken exhaust valve. Ooh, right there. Yep, it broke a chunk off. So I honestly don't really know where that chunk ended up. I'm guessing it got stuck in the Cadillac converter on here, because this is still a factory exhaust system. It did not damage the turbo. Turbo's good. Yes, I have a massive pile of parts. I do have 2 engines torn apart right now, so I know this looks messy, but it is all organized. So here we have the heads off of the spare engine and the head off of this Veloster here. I was originally going to clean up and rebuild the head off of the spare engine until I got the camshafts out of it and found that the journals here for the phaser side, or the timing chain side of the camshafts, are scored up pretty bad. Not like bad enough where like not usable, pretty bad, but bad enough that like I don't want to put that in this car. So basically I'm taking a valve, an exhaust valve, out of this head, and I'm going to relocate the good exhaust valve from this head over to this head to repair this broken valve. I will be pulling all of the valves out of the head here individually and soaking them. And then I also have a method here that I'll show you to soak the head. Basically, the goal is to remove as much of all of this carbon buildup as humanly possible. Hopefully, 100% of it, if not like a good all of it. And yeah, you can see how bad this is. This is why your engines start running rough, and this is why good fuel is important, and this is why tune-ups are important. You can see how clogged the injection port is for the fuel. I mean, there's literally a hunk of carbon right there that looks, I mean, it's like ready to flake off. I'll show you on this one. I mean, look, it's all gunked up. Fuel can't spray out of that correctly. That's why it's all wet, you know. Look at this. This is all flaking off the top of this. You know, this is terrible buildup. Now, you don't want to just come in here and start scraping on it with like a screwdriver or anything like that. No, we're going to take all the valves out. I have a method here prepared with cardboard so that I can label each one. I know which hole they came out of, and I will be soaking these valves. I'm going to soak them in most likely seafoam. You can use diesel fuel, you can use brake clean, you can use seafoam. There's all kinds of different products that you can use. I just find, you know, buying a can of seafoam works great. My goal is here basically to take the can of seafoam and pour it into this plastic bin. I have my cardboard here labeled intake, exhaust, 1, 2, 3, 4 each cylinder, and boom, there we go. It's going to go like that. So as I take the valves out, I will pop them into these holes, and this cardboard would hold them tight, and I will be able to drop the valves down into the liquid and soak the heads of the valves. Basically, I want to get all the carbon buildup off of the heads of the valves here. As you can see, they're pretty gross. So that is to soak the valves, okay? And then I have another plastic tote here that happens to be the perfect size for the head to sit down in here. And I'm going to use this basically as like a wash basin for cleaning up all of the leftover carbon in the head and like the intake ports here. I'm going to clean all the carbon out of there. I'll show you what that looks like here. There we go. Lights on. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to, since the valves will be pulled out, I'll be able to clean all that out by soaking the head again in seafoam or brake clean, things like that. Now, I'm not going to go in here with like a wire brush and like start scrubbing, you know, anything crazy and wildly here. It's really going to be a little bit of soaking, a little bit of wiping, and then let it soak some more and things like that. And a lot of this carbon buildup will come off and just kind of break up naturally with the chemicals from the products. Really, it's just kind of a matter of like basting it, you know, because my pan is only so big, and I only want to use so much seafoam, you know. So basically just going to kind of like baste it, you know, keep it soaked, keep it like rubbing a lot of this stuff off of here. It should come off. Even something like a toothbrush should work. So that's the goal here. I want to rebuild basically this head, and this head will go back on this car. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these fuel injectors and reuse them and just clean them, or if I'm going to use the injectors out of this head. I do have those injectors over here. Those are right here. Boom, 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 boom. On the injectors, when you pull them out, there is this rubber seal. Boom. Looks like that. Okay. And this seal gets worn out and cracks along the rim there. So you'll get issues with fuel leaking or pressure leaking on that injector. Matter of fact, hang on. One of these, I don't remember which one. Hold on. You're probably not going to be able to see it on camera. This seal in this hole is actually cracked. And I wouldn't have known that until I pulled the injectors out of it and found that it's cracked. So, you know, those are not reusable seals. These, when you pull your injectors, you need to replace these seals. If you do not, I find people all the time like, oh, I put new injectors in it. Why is it still running like crap? Probably because you didn't replace the injector seals with it. You left those crappy ass seals in your head, and then you put new injectors in there and you've got a leak. So you may not be able to see that leak, but it's enough of a leak to cause a pressure drop and cause that injector to not fire right and cause issues in that cylinder. And boom, now you got a misfire or it's running like crap because of that. So keep that in mind. If you're going to replace fuel injectors on this car, replace those injector seals as well. You don't need to necessarily worry about the ones that go into the rail. They're little blue O-rings at the top of each injector. The only time you would need to worry about that is if you were to pull the part of the rail off each injector and change them that way. It is possible to pull the whole rail out with all 4 injectors still in it. As you can see here. You just have to be careful, but you can pull the whole high pressure fuel rail out with all 4 injectors without damaging them. And replace those seals. So yeah, that's the mission here. Removing the valves. I have a special tool for that. That is right here. Valve, spring, compressor kit right there. It looks like a big giant clamp. It's got these doodads on each end. And one side goes on the valve side and one side goes on the spring side, and you screw it together and it basically compresses. It compresses the spring so that you can take the keepers out on each cylinder one by one. So we'll be doing that. This kit is actually pretty decent. I wasn't sure how cheap it was going to be, like quality wise, but yeah, it seems to have everything in it that you would need to compress springs on a head and remove these valves. So I did one already just to make sure that it was going to work good. And this is the valve that I'm going to use here to replace that broken one. Again, I do have new valve seals to go in. I don't have them handy right now, or else I'd show you those. But I'm going to reuse all the valves, reuse all the valve springs, keep all the parts exactly the way they go. Do not lose any of the parts. You know, bag them and label them if you need to. I have, you know, for example, I have all of these components laid out over here exactly how they came out of the head. So when I go to put the head back together, I know exactly where everything goes. All I got to do is clean them up and put them back where they go. It's important that you do check the flatness of the heads and make sure that they are in the factory recommended spec. I'll be honest, I don't know that information off the top of my head. That is information that I usually have to look up and hunt for and figure out. But I do check for the flatness of the heads. You do also want to check for the flatness of the block. I'm confident that this block is not damaged at all or warped or anything. I believe that the only reason why this engine stopped running was because of the broken valve. So since I'm keeping the same head that came off of it, I'm just putting a new head gasket on it with new head studs and such. I'm not going to like send this off to like get it machined or anything along that manner. Basically I just clean the surfaces really well. Confident that they're clean enough and that I don't see any like major damage at all. I'm just going to be able to put this head back on this engine and it's going to run. So I haven't been able to post in a little bit. I've just been super busy between work and weekends events. I've been kind of back-to-back weekends in different places for shows. 2 weekends ago, I was in Valparaiso, Indiana for their car show. I actually, that right here, People's Choice Top 50 at the Valparaiso Car Show and Swap Meet, which was awesome. While I was there, I walked around the swap meet and came across this gem. I paid $15 for this super cool Hot Wheels Collector's Series 2004 board. And what is super cool is On the back side, it is actually a like road design. After some further inspection and information gathering on the internet, I found that Hot Wheels once made a play table. So it was like a Hot Wheels like play table that this sit inside of. And it was like reversible, so like you could flip it over and play with the cars, or flip it over and display the Hot Wheels logo. I always love car show swap meets. I find a lot of my signs at those type of events, swap meets, garage sales, any kind of estate sales or Facebook Marketplace. Everybody always asks about these signs. I have not stolen any of them. They did all come from various sources. Like I said, garage sales and Facebook Marketplace purchases and swap meets and all kinds of stuff. So whenever I see them, I'm willing to throw a $20 bill at a cool sign. I just find collecting them is cool. Neat garage wall stuff, I guess, decor. So yeah, that was a cool score. Anyway, last weekend I was in Joliet at Route 66 Raceway for the first time since 2019. Import Face Off hosted an event there. That blue guy right there was for Best Korean. Obviously all the other ones are as well, but that one was from last weekend. For the first time ever, instead of drag racing, they did drifting, which was super cool. I was very excited to see how that was going to go. I love IFO drift events. I've been to many of them. Obviously, I've traveled all over to different IFO events. Some of them have drag racing. Some of them have drifting. Some of them have both, depending on where you go, like St. Louis. And I've just always enjoyed the drifting side of things at Import Face Off. So it was really cool when they announced that they were doing a show at Route 66 again, because it's the first time again since they've been here since 2019. I do need to do a little bit of maintenance on the show car. I need to do an oil change. I need to empty catch cans, and I need to check in my tires out, see if they need to be rotated. It's been a little bit. I've put some miles on, so maintenance. I do drive this car everywhere. Everybody asks, is it trailered? No, it's not trailered. I drive it. I've been to Branson, Ohio multiple times, Chicago Slammed enough, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Topeka, Kansas, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Columbus, Ohio, all over in Wisconsin, Michigan. So yeah, I drive the car, guys. It's not perfect. It's got some little boo-boos, here and there. That happens. Unfortunately, that's the sacrifice I make for being low and having the flush fitment that I have. I really like the fitment on this car with these wheels, and this is something that I've pretty much battled for a long time, is my tire rubbing there. The only way that I can get away from that would be to go to a more stretched tire. I have ran a smaller tire size in the past, and I really just don't like the way the car rides on them, and the tread just seems to not last. So I went up to this tire size this last time I bought tires, and unfortunately I'm paying for that now on both of my fenders. So there's there, and I actually have this fender's kind of worse. It's busted right there and busted right there. So unfortunately, that happens. It's okay. They're just fenders, that just proves that I drive the car. I enjoyed this car. I built it to drive it. Yeah, I get a little burn mark there. Look at that. My tires rub. You can see how smooth my tires are right in that spot because it rubs. My wheel specs are 18 by 8.5 plus 37. They are SSR, SPX, or the Professor Series, as some people know it. These are the SPXs. They originally were black with like a blackish, like neochrome hardware. When I had them, or when I disassembled them to have them powder coated, I switched all the hardware over to the chrome hardware. I felt like that contrasted better with the blue. I don't know if you guys want to see the interior. Here's the interior. Ignore my flag post. Yeah, I don't know, this is the first time like I've had it out of the garage on camera for everybody to like look at and see. So my interior, the seats have been dyed. These are actually my factory seats, the black ones with the blue accents. I recolored them white, and I actually did all of the leather surfaces white. You can see what that looks like. Ooh, yep. This is blue suede, and then all of the other white is the blue ghost pearl vinyl wrap. I had never vinyl wrapped anything before. This was my first attempt at vinyl wrapping anything, and let me tell you, that was a learning experience. I would be willing to retry a couple of these pieces. My centerpiece is bubbling. Will it focus? There it is. My centerpiece is bubbling just a little bit. I'm learning how to use wrap and heat it better. Trying to watch other people that are doing pretty good jobs of wrapping pieces nowadays, and realizing that I could totally do a better job. So little by little, learning how to do things that I've always wanted to do and see how it turns out. The vinyl wrap was cheap. I feel like painting the pieces ultimately is the best route. However, vinyl wrapping everything turned out pretty decent. And I will say the vinyl wrap is cool because if I ever want to change it, or if it gets damaged, it's easy to peel off and fix or redo. Change colors, things like that. Obviously, those are the benefits of vinyl wrap in any form, you know, whether you're wrapping the car or anything. So yeah, I'm kind of happy that I did do the wrap. I just need to do them a little better, I guess.